In December 1911, the British Empire staged one of the most opulent displays of power in modern history. Hundreds of thousands gathered in a massive tent city for the Delhi Durbar, waiting for an announcement that would alter the political geography of India. King George V issued a decree. The capital of British India was moving. Political unrest following the partition of Bengal had made Calcutta too volatile. The imperial seat was shifting to Delhi. This relocation was calculated. The British administration understood an ancient local ethos, a widely accepted rule of the subcontinent. He who rules Delhi rules India. Looking at this 60-square-mile map, Delhi is not a single city, but a geographic graveyard. Underneath lie the ruins of 14 capitals, built over 3,500 years. What magnetic force compels every empire to conquer it, destroy the previous city, and build on the rubble? Securing this territory served as a mandatory ritual of legitimacy, the final, violent proof required for a king to demand absolute submission. In 1192, Rajput forces defending the fortress of Lal Kot were defeated at the Battle of Tarain. That victory breached the ancient defenses of the region and opened the door to centuries of Turkic and Afghan rule. Looking at this topographic map of northern India, the vulnerability is obvious. An invading army marching from the northwest hits a natural funnel. Delhi sits directly at this geographic choke point, guarding the access to the wealthy, fertile agricultural lands of the Ganges Plain. The ensuing Delhi Sultanate capitalized on this positioning. They spent the next few centuries turning a militarized transit point into a massive hub of culture, wealth, and political control. By the time the Mughal Empire arrived in 1526, they locked that dominance into red sandstone. They constructed the massive walled city of Shah Jahanabad, complete with imposing fortresses designed to project total permanence. That massive concentration of wealth invited constant attacks. Following the death of Emperor Aurangzeb, the city was hollowed out by Maratha raids, and later brutally sacked by the Persian conqueror Nadir Shah, leaving the capital's streets a bloody battleground. For ancient and medieval warlords, possessing Delhi solved two problems at once. It gave them physical control over the most lucrative trade routes, and it psychologically broke the will of any rival claimant to the throne. When the British East India Company captured the city in 1803, they inherited this exact legacy, a densely packed, layered urban maze constructed by the empires they had just defeated. The British decided to physically separate their administration from the old city. They commissioned architect Edwin Lutyens to design an entirely new, monumental capital from scratch. Built on Raisina Hill, New Delhi was laid out with wide, sweeping avenues and massive administrative fortresses, like the Viceroy's house, proportions intentionally designed to dwarf the individual citizen. Construction was delayed by severe funding and labor shortages during World War I. It took 2 decades of planning and building before the new power center was finally inaugurated in 1931. Building a pristine, geometric capital directly adjacent to the ruins of defeated dynasties was a calculated operation. The British were using urban planning as a psychological weapon, declaring in stone that their rule would be eternal. That eternal rule lasted 16 years. In 1947, independence repurposed the entire imperial fortress, turning the seat of foreign authority into the beating heart of the world's largest democracy. But governing the capital creates a unique paranoia for those in charge. Fearing a loss of direct control over the national seat of power, the central government actually stripped Delhi of its legislative assembly in 1956. For the next 37 years, the city was governed directly by the center. Even with the assembly restored, the administrative design still causes friction today. The locally elected chief minister and the centrally appointed lieutenant governor are locked in a perpetual power struggle over who has the actual authority to run the city. This tension turns local politics into a national spectacle. Political parties like AAP, the BJP, and Congress pour a disproportionate amount of capital and resources into winning this specific territory. The tools of conquest have shifted from cavalry and siege engines to voting machines and campaign rallies, yet the political gravity of the city remains constant. Delhi remains the eternal protagonist of the Indian story. an administrative center where the power held within these 60 square miles dictates the lives of over 1 billion people.